let's talk a little bit of World Cup qualifying in regards to Concacaf. So obviously, United States, Canada, and Mexico are hosting the World Cup in 2026. So this is going to shake up a little bit in the way that teams qualify through CONCACAF. We're going to have probably the most, actually, yeah, we're for sure having the most teams ever involved in the World Cup with 48 teams, but also that goes the same for the Federation as well. I believe, Will, correct me if I'm wrong, there's going to be six teams. There's 3 available spots in this qualifying round.
Yeah, like you said, 3 automatic with Canada, USA, Mexico. 3 automatic from CONCACAF will qualify, and then 2 will run into the playoff bound.
Okay, so 4 total get in from CONCACAF through qualifying.
No, we could potentially 5, because 2 of them will go to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I know what you mean. Never mind. That took me a second. But yeah, I'm gonna pull it up here.
Run through the groups?
I got it right here, so we can kind of go through it. Yeah. So
Perfect.
Let me zoom in a tad. All right. So look, I don't think as you kind of go through these groups, you already kind of know who's going to be the favorites. But we'll kind of run through and kind of give our quick thoughts about what we're going to go deeper into it maybe as we go through the next round. And they narrow down who's going to get in, because I think that's where things are going to get super interesting. But as for Group A, I think Will would agree with me, and so will Adam. Honduras seems to be the clear winner here. They're the most talented team. They have the most to gain. Will, I believe it's just the winner from each group, right?
Top 2. So top 2 teams.
Top 2 move on to the next round.
Yep, top 2. Right. So I'm going to say Honduras, Cuba. That's just like obviously Honduras is going to absolutely wipe the floor. They're probably going to go undefeated. I know Cuba tends to have a lot of talent. So those seem kind of like me. Let me know if you guys disagree with me at all.
No, I think, I agree. Honduras, they seem like the clear favorite. You know, it sucks about these qualifiers, looking at a little bit at the schedule. 2 games are going to be played this summer. Like you were saying, Julian, they start within a month or a little bit less than a month. The next 2 for the second round, for this same round, won't be until next summer, right before the Gold Cup is and stuff.
Really?
So it's, so it's like it's a long ass period. So like you said, we'll cover more obviously about the third round and stuff, but we'll be pushing a little bit of time with these.
Not even in September or October, November? No, none?
That's Nations League, CONCACAF Nations League going back at it. Yeah.
Going back at it again. Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. So let's go to the next group. To me, obviously, hometown boys, my blood, Los Ticos are going to absolutely wipe the floor. They're not going to lose. The only team that may give them a run for their money, which I'd even be surprised at that point, would be Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad Tobago not horrible. Top 100
and they
team ranked in the world rankings.
And they did do fairly well against the United States. Obviously, Serginho Jess got a red card during all that. And obviously, historically, Trinidad was the team that knocked out the United States out of the World Cup in 2018. So to me, Costa Rica wipes the floor with this group, and then next would be Trinidad. To me, this is the next logical choice.
Yeah, this is one of the few easy groups where I can easily say that it's going to be Costa Rica and Trinidad, and the other 3 teams are just there
happy to be
for
there.
Fun. Happy to be there.
Happy to even be in a qualifier.
Hey, be careful with the Bahamas, man. I don't know if they can get those
sure
boys
about
from
that?
the Atlantis. I mean,
I looked up their stadium.
Even feel the team?
I looked up their stadium. They play in a high school field. Which is funny because they have a national. They actually, it's funny because they have a national stadium right next door, but they don't play there. Yeah. Guess they don't give a shit.
That's
the only thing. Them. Yeah, I mean, seriously, they have a national stadium. They don't put them there. So I
think they're more of a baseball country, if I'm not.
Their baseball stadium is also next to their stadium, and it looked nicer than the that stadium that they currently use for some of their games. But then again, I only looked at games that were Bahamas versus like Cayman Islands, so I would think that if they're going to play those at home, they don't need to put that in the national stadium.
Yeah, the biggest game, everybody knows the biggest game in the Caribbean is the Virgin Derby.
The Virgin Derby, baby.
Hey, I don't know if you guys saw that. I don't know if you guys saw that a couple weeks ago. The Virgin Derby, British Virgin Islands versus the United States Virgin Islands.
They went to like PKs. That was actually kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
They did. And then they did. And British Virgin Islands won in penalties.
Yeah,
And then didn't one of the Virgin Islands beat San Marino? Didn't they play them recently?
Yeah, that'd have been funny.
that's a
I think
classic
they
game
did.
right there.
I'm looking now.
Honestly, if you're
It
San
wasn't
Marino,
the
you
U.S.
have
It wasn't the U.S. That's for sure.
It was the British Virgin Islands.
Because I just clicked
San
on the
Marino
US
played
and it
one
doesn't
of the
show up there.
islands for sure. Maybe it was St. Kitts.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't show up, so
I would be down. They honestly, San Marino needs to play more teams from these islands as well as like the Pacific Islands. I'd be all for that. But all right, let's move to the next group.
it was St. Kitts. It was St. Kitts.
Okay, it was St. Kitts. Okay, that's the all right.
Oh yeah.
All right. So Group C, this one's a little tougher for me. These are kind of all relatively mediocre teams. Obviously, the Haiti should be the favorite. They have the most talented roster. The only thing is, obviously, they have a lot of outside political issues going on within their own country with the, I don't have to go into everything going on there. So that could potentially affect the way that they play growing is, or they could be highly motivated, one of the two. But even with that being said, they should be the best team coming out of this group. And I'm going to go Curacao with the next. Curacao kind of has that history. I know Columbus Crew goalkeeper legend Eli Room play for Curacao. And that's all I know. That's all I know. But I do know they're generally a team that competes and always kind of pushes to get into the Gold Cup tournament and sometimes makes it. So
yeah,
I'm sorry, St. Lucia, Barbados, and Aruba. I'm assuming that you guys are just not very good. So I'm going to go with the two teams that I trust. Haiti should wax the floor with this group.
I actually like Curacao. I was looking at some of their matches, and I think they can even win the group. They played a couple
they're a
hybrid
competitive team.
They played a couple hybrid friendlies in Turkey. The first was the 21st of March against Hull, and they won 1-0. And then they also played a Turkish team, Alanyaspor, and of course, in Alanya, Turkey, and they drew 2-2. So, I mean, that's pretty cool that they were able to do those kinds of hybrid friendlies. But in their international matches, like one that stands out in the Nations League, they beat Trinidad 5-3.
That game was crazy.
Which is pretty good.
I remember watching
They also drew El Salvador twice in friendlies.
El Salvador,
they're a sleeper
team.
They're a sleeper team.
Yeah, I think like you guys said, Barbados can give a scare every now and then, not that well. St. Lucia, I mean, best of luck. Good luck, guys. Aruba, I've been there one time for a vacation. Pretty much it. Curacao, Haiti.
All I gotta say about Aruba is just don't get murdered there by a Dutch random.
Yeah. That's true.
If you know, you know.
Curacao.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing that, like I said, I mean, Haiti.
The ABC Island Derby, Aruba versus Curacao.
Oh yeah.
You just need what's the B one? That's the B one.
Bonnier.
There's a lot of freaking B ones.
Bonnier.
Bonnier. No, but you have the ABC, the three Dutch islands, and it was Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. I've actually been to Curacao. All right, let's go to Group D. This is Will's group here, Panama. Look, let's be real. Nicaragua's going to wax the floor with this group. Panama doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah. No, I think I would literally stop watching football if that happens. If Nicaragua beats us, I'm gonna lose my mind. I don't even want to watch the rest of World Cup qualifiers at that point. This should be hands down. Yeah, like hands down, because we first play Guyana. If I'm not wrong, Montserrat this summer.
Guyana.
We play them in like a few weeks. Guyana.
Christ, this is gonna be so easy for you guys.
So it should be, it should be. But you know what? I like it. And I'm going to be quite honest, because we all have Copa America this summer for our respective countries. So I think it's good because we'll have a couple other friendlies in between there. So I really want the guys, like, I'm not saying this to be like, I'm just obviously trying to remain humble, but we need to put goals on these guys. Like, we need to get like 6, 5, even if we win 4-0, okay, but we need young guys playing. We need goals. Like, get some minutes.
You got to put your B squad out there. You have to put your B squad out there.
Respect.
Don't even risk it. Yeah. Don't even risk it. As for second place, I'm kind of between Guyana and Nicaragua. Mm-hmm. I don't think Montserrat is going to be good enough, and neither is Belize. But it's going to be one of those two. Like, I don't know enough in-depth knowledge about Nicaraguan football
You'd have to think
but-
they're a bit better than Guyana.
Yeah,
but,
I have to think based off their domestic league
Yeah.
and the way they play in the Central America Cup recently and kind of their history that they're going to be better than Guyana, probably get second place. All right, let's go to Group E. This one, another easy one. Jamaica, gonna wax the floor. Second place, I'm going Dominican Republic here. Dominican
There we
Republic is
go.
actually a team on the rise. They have a lot of young talent. Adam, our own boy, Edison Ascona from Inter Miami, is the captain for the Dominican Republic team and has been absolutely balling. Led them to the U20 World Cup last year. They're a team that's really on the rise. They're developing a lot of talent. They're getting a lot of dual nationals from the United States that are getting developed over here. I like Dominican Republic here. I think Guatemala is just like they have a great fan base. I've seen their games working at Dry Pink Stadium. But man, watching them play just hurts. It's just not very good.
Makes me want to go to the hospital and
But yeah, I'm gonna go Jamaica and Dominican Republic. I think just like I said, Dominican Republic.
I do like that pick. I do like that pick. The Dominican Republic's another one of those. You look at their results.
Getting better. They're genuinely getting better.
And the talent they have, and you're like, well, shit. So I'm gonna agree with you on that one. That's a fun one. I hope it happens.
I don't know if you can really say there's a group of death, but Group E would probably be a slightly, all due respect to Dominica and British,
I think
the Virgin Islands.
This one, the Group D, Group C is the group of death. Personally.
Yeah. It's yeah.
But let's go back to Group E though. So, Will, who you got? British Virgin Islands smoking the fucking table. Just say it. Say it, dude. Just say it. We know you want to say British Virgin Islands. Just say it.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, hey, you know what? Hey, Junior Firpo, like you were talking about, Julian, the dual Nats. Like, I saw this guy. There's another dude that he plays in Sevilla. He used to play at Real Madrid, Mariano.
Yes. Yes.
Like they're really trying, and it looks like more than likely this summer he'll come and hop along with them. But if you got him,
he was
like
a dual national with Spain, right? He was going.
Yeah.
He was originally playing for Spain, and then dual national over to Dominican.
And it's not to say these guys were like, oh, dude, we're shit. We can't play for Spain. But respectively, Junior Firpo realized, hey, I'm 26 years old or 27. I'm not going to be able to play with Spain. Dominican Republic's a rising talent. Obviously, like soccer is big. It is really growing in their country. So, and I don't know, like I've got a lot of beef with Guatemalans, all over social media and stuff. So low key, respectively, you guys are going to get eliminated here. Go Dominican Republic.
Beef? How do you have a beef with a team that doesn't compete?
Hey, when we played Mexico.
Now you're both on the hit list. Don't go to Guatemala.
Hey, basically,
this cartel's got a fucking hit a fatwa on you guys.
You from Real Fans FC?
It's on site now.
Oh, they know us now. They got us.
Let's go to Group F. This was interesting to me.
The final group.
Obviously, it's the fans that don't know. Everybody knows I'm Costa Rican, but I'm also half Puerto Rican. So I do have a lot of blood riding on this group. We have Puerto Rico, Anguilla, El Salvador, St. Vincent, and Suriname. So everybody's going to say El Salvador is the favorites to get out of this group. I think El Salvador does get out of this group, but I think they don't get first. And I think Puerto Rico gets first out of this group. Puerto Rico, just like the Dominican Republic, is progressively getting better and better. They have a lot of young talent. I've been following this team for the past year and a half, watching them grow and get better. They have a lot. I don't know if you necessarily call them dual nationals because Puerto Rico is not a country, but they have a lot of players, even within the Orlando Academy and a lot of places in New York where a lot of Puerto Rican large communities are developing through MLS academies. And a lot of those players on that Puerto Rican national team play for MLS Next Pro teams. So there's a lot of talent, and they're getting developed really well. And the big star for Puerto Rico right now is Jeremy Leon, who is playing for Real Madrid and was actually on the bench today for the Champions League game. He is a prodigy who just got signed this past winter transfer window. Has been playing with the Castilla in Real Madrid. And there's a lot of even Bad Bunny retweeted him. It was a huge deal for the entire island to see this guy represent Puerto Rico He's been probably the best Puerto Rican prospect ever. And then on top of that, there's another Puerto Rican player, drawing a blank on the name for some reason, but he plays in the second division of Spain and actually scored on Atletico Madrid in the Copa del Rey. And he has a lot of potential of going up to La Liga. So Puerto Rico is actually starting to become a growing beast. They're starting to play really well, and a lot of it thanks to the help.
Man said, "I'm saying they're coming in first, and I bring receipts."
Bring receipts.
He pulled up the receipts.
He's like, "I'm not just coming out there with the take."
Julian's like, "I'm about to get a national team call up."
I think Puerto Rico has a lot of time. Obviously, there's still so much more to do. These guys are still really young. They're all in developmental stages. There's not necessarily a guy who's like the guy yet, but I do like them. They're going to be hungry. They actually were super close for They made it almost to the final bracket of Gold Cup. They lost in the qualifiers, the final qualifying round in the Gold Cup in South Florida, actually.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've been watching it. They got promoted recently into the Nations League. So they're now in the second division of Nation League, pushing for that first division promotion. So like you said, after these qualifiers, I think this is a team, obviously a bit of a homer in me, but I like seeing sometimes it's kind of fun to watch these gritty soccer games being played in a baseball stadium. Because in Puerto Rico, there is no soccer stadiums. It's only baseball stadiums. So yeah, I like and the domestic league there is actually growing as well. You can watch all those games on YouTube, funny enough. But yeah, I think Puerto Rico and El Salvador, whether or not who wins can be a little bit up in the air, but I'm going with Puerto Rico. I think they got a lot of actual raw talent versus El Salvador's aging. But realistically, I think El Salvador should win the group, but don't be surprised if Puerto Rico sneaks up and gets first.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys knew this. I'm going to keep it real, Julian. I've got, at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I can hop on the Puerto Rico train, but I completely, and it hit me again. El Salvador has not won a game, this is including friendlies, all this shit. They have not won a single game since 2021. I was like,
hop on it, bro. Hop on.
I mean, I think Suriname. You guys know this. Geraldo.
Get on with the Los Boricuas. Come on, bro.
Yeah, right. I think Suriname's clear of El Salvador. I think if they genuinely, I think that game will be played in San Salvador. But Suriname has the talent. They have the depth. They can win it. And then Puerto Rico. You guys got a guy. You guys got a guy over in Minnesota, Zariq Valentine. I don't know if you've seen him a little, but he's like a center back. And he's solid. Jeremy De Leon, like you said, that Bad Bunny's boy. So I think Puerto Rico. I honestly, I'm not rooting against El Salvador, but God, that team is bad, man. They're really talent.
They may be able to get past this part, but they're not going to get past Miami. That was a fucking joke of a fucking game. So let's not go there.
Yeah.
But this might be the group of death, honestly. I think you have Suriname, Puerto Rico, and El Salvador.
Yeah, because you got nobody who's like really a standout. So it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Yeah. But so we'll say it. Who you got?
Puerto Rico and Suriname. El Salvador's getting third. I think they're going to get I think they're going to hit the home bus back to San Salvador. They're going to be eating their the pupusas. They're going to be eating their pupusas on the way back home. So they're gone.
I'm not going to lie, dude. This is going to be absolutely if Puerto Rico gets out of this group, this is massive for the island.
That's what I'm saying. You guys got to hype this up. These games, this would
be the closest they've ever gotten to a World Cup. If they get out of this group, it would be winning the World Cup. It would be.
I don't think Puerto Rico's goal is to make the World Cup. I'm not going to say Puerto Rico's going to go and they're going to upset Japan in the group stage. Yeah, but if they could tie El Salvador, even dude, props to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
The future's big for them. So
agreed.
Yeah.